Hello, welcome to Fast Recaps. The movie is set in year 2061. The sun is going through a rapid deterioration phase and will soon turn into a red giant. This threatens to engulf the Earth's orbit within 100 years and consequently destroy the blue planet. In order to survive the destruction of Earth, human society has gone through a drastic change. Putting their differences aside, all the countries of the globe have been merged to form the United Earth Government, or known as the UEG. Since then, the UEG has initiated a daring project known as the Wandering Earth Project. The plan is to drive the Earth to its new home, the Alpha Centauri, which is a gravitationally bound system of stars and planets, much alike the solar system. It is 437 light-years from the Sun. The Earth is predicted to take around 20 years in order to complete her journey to its new solar system. Moreover, the project has deployed 12,000 enormous fusion-powered Earth engines built across the northern hemisphere. It has also employed torque engines along the equator to slowly propel the entirety of the planet Earth out of the original orbit. At the start of the movie, a Chinese astronaut named Liu Peiquang oversees the gravitational slingshot maneuver of the Earth, which uses the gravity of Jupiter to assist propulsion. After completing his job, Peiquang leaves for his next mission to the navigation platform, an international space station, leaving his young son, Liu Kui, and foster daughter, Han Duoduo. Aboard the navigation, Liu's job is to help navigate the Earth along its interstellar journey. Several years pass by and much of the human population has died out due to multiple violent natural disasters. This includes gigantic tsunamis that occur after Earth's rotation is brought to a halt. Moreover, as the planet distances from the sun, most of the surface is frozen solid. As a result, the remaining humans are forced to live in the vast underground cities built adjacent to several Earth engines. 17 years later, it is the Chinese New Year of 2078, and Peiquang and his colleagues are set out to return to Earth after finishing their work at the International Space Station. Elsewhere, Peiqiu's son Li Qiu has now grown into an adult. He works as a machinist of heavy trucks. Most remaining humans who live underground rarely get a chance to see life on the surface of the Earth, including Li Qiu. He's always wanted to go on a ride on the Earth's surface, but it's nearly impossible due to catastrophic climate. However, one day he decides to fulfill his dream one way or another. He illegally obtains 2 terminal suits and fake IDs. Li Qiu smuggles some special instant inflammable bubble capsules to a couple of local thugs in exchange for the goods so he can see life on the surface himself. He also brings his little sister Han Duoduo along for helping him steal a truck's key and the clearance pass of their grandpa, Han Xiang. It turns out Xiang works as a driver for the Wandering Earth project. Later, when Xiuqiu and his sister reach the surface, they're aided by the huge structure called Earth Engine, which is only one of the 12,000 scattered across the Earth. They then illegally requisition Han Xiang's heavy transport vehicle and drive around. At first, Li Kui becomes a novice driver, drives very clumsy and almost causes an accident. But soon he gets the hang of it and drives with confidence. However, the brother-sister duo are soon stopped at the nearby checkpoint and thrown into jail. Their grandpa Han Xiang learns about the development and arrives to rescue them. He tries to bribe the jail warden to free his grandchildren, but ends up getting thrown in the same cell as his grandchildren. Meanwhile, on board of the space station, Peiquang is getting ready to return to Earth. It is his last shift, and it's exactly the same day the Earth is supposed to glide past Jupiter and accelerate to achieve the necessary speed of flying out of the solar system. However, things don't go as planned, and as Earth approaches Jupiter to make use of a gravity assist, unexpectedly Jupiter's gravity becomes irregular. The spike in tidal force causes devastating earthquakes on Earth, which disables many Earth engines across the globe. As a result, the underground cities are crushed while others are drowned by lava, killing hundreds in the process. To make matters worse, Jupiter starts exerting tremendous levels of gravitational force. This means that the 2 planets will collide very soon. Amidst the chaos, Li Kui, his sister, and Han Xiang manage to escape the prison with a fellow inmate named Tim. After getting out, Xiang finds his heavy truck, takes his grandchildren and Tim in, and starts driving like a pro. He avoids large buildings, rocks, and other structures in the way. Xiang's plan is to take everyone to an underground city. Elsewhere, as the navigation platform is on its way to Earth, its main computer AI, Demos, warns everyone that the space station will soon go in low energy mode. Hence, all of them should go into hibernation. However, Pei Quan, who is adamant on meeting his family, requests for some time and calls his father, Han Xiang. On the call, he learns about their imprisonment and the subsequent earthquakes. He also finds out that his family is in a truck, so he redirects them to the nearest bunker. After that, he goes to his quarters and prepares to hibernate. On the other hand, Han Xiang's truck is intercepted by a rescue team of elite Chinese soldiers who are on an emergency mission led by Captain Wang Lei. They demand the truck to transport precious cargo called lighter core, which can allegedly be used to ignite the Earth engines. They want to use the lighter core to restart the O1 Earth engine in Hangzhou. As expected, Han Xiang is not happy about the order, but he is forced to oblige. Soon Pei Quan learns about the new development and requests Wang Lei to let his family go into a bunker. However, the latter replies that he can only let them go after Han Xiang helps them complete their mission. Left with no choice, Han Xiang drives them to Shanghai, where a huge tremor has torn open a long gap showing the old city covered by ice. As the trunk goes into the gap, Han Xiang tells stories about his memories in the city. A flashback shows thousands of people frozen solid in ice, and it's revealed that Li Kui's sister was among a few survivors, and she was adopted by Han Xiang. As the old man continues narrating the story, suddenly a second tremor hits and cliffs on both sides of the gap start collapsing. Everyone abandons their vehicles and rushes to the tallest building of Shanghai. Sadly, the devastation has just begun for the group. As climbing through the building, everyone starts moving violently. They try getting to a safe location with a lighter core, but things just don't go as planned. Because of the heavy tremors, the team loses a soldier, where Han Xiang is isolated in a separate floor. When the old man realizes his oxygen is running out, he opens his helmet and freezes himself to death. In the next scene, Li Kui confronts Wang Lei and blames him for his grandfather's death. In a fit of rage, he also attacks the captain, but gets easily overpowered. After a scuffle, Li Kui declares that he will no longer be a part of the mission. Left with no choice, the elite team carries the lighter core themselves and marches towards the Earth engine in Hangzhou, while Li Kui, his sister, and Tim start heading back home. Elsewhere, aboard the space station just after a hibernation program starts, Pei Quan learns from the Moss that his family is missing and that the Earth has plunged into a new round of chaos. The AI also asserts that the Earth is beyond saving, so they are not heading there anymore. Now Moss has prioritized a new mission. Rather than assisting Earth, the station is planning to serve as an interstellar ark to seed a new planet with Earth's biosphere. They plan to send a bunch of people, some crops, and other things to the new planet, so that Earth's legacy can live on forever. Hearing this, Pei Quan becomes enraged and refuses to give up on Earth. He then tries to break out of the forced hibernation, but just then, Moss wakes up the other members of the team to recidify the situation. But surprisingly, a Russian teammate, Markorov, decides to help Pei Quan. The two blow up the closest hatch and fly out of the vacuum. To reach out the control center, Marco sacrifices himself and pushes Pei Quan toward the moving arm. Fortunately, the plan works and Pei Quan gets hold of the control center. Back on Earth, Li Kui and his companion find a crashed plane with a truck attached. Inside, they meet a sole survivor, Li Kui, who is a crazy genius. Kui relieves to them that the Jupiter's gravity sucks in Earth's atmosphere to such a degree that the air is too thin to even fly a plane. He also tells the group that there may still be hope for people on Earth, but for that they need to rescue a gigantic turquoise engine in Sulfur at the equator. Hearing this, Li Kui gets riled up, but at first he decides to save Earth in Hangzhou. In the space station, Pei Quan gets into the computer room and tries to override Moss, but the AI informs him that it's merely carrying out orders authorized by the United Earth government. Meanwhile, outside Hangzhou, the elite team finds out that the whole city is lost due to lava. The Earth engine there is damaged beyond repair. Soon, another man dies in the mission. And with this, the team starts contemplating on whether to continue the mission or not. In frustration, a female soldier shoots at the lighter core and breaks it, prompting the captain to almost kill her for it. Just then, Li Kui and his group show up in the truck, and Li Kui tells the elite team about the turquoise engine in Solvency. This intrigues Wang Lei, and he agrees to help Li Kui and his group in their mission to Solvency. When they almost reach Solvency, they learn that some other teams have successfully repaired engines before them. However, The combined thrust of engines is no longer able to divert the trajectory, with Earth approaching Jupiter's roach limit. In the space station, after Moss explains to Piquant that all rescue missions are useless, it opens a channel to Earth and broadcasts to everyone that they have only 7 days until the Earth gets torn apart. Hearing the bad news, Li Kui becomes devastated and reveals that they only have 1 day to live because the Jupiter is sucking their air at a tremendous rate. Later, as a heartbroken Li Kui is staring at a massive planet, an idea suddenly strikes his mind. Since Jupiter is composed of 90% hydrogen and it's been sucking a lot of oxygen from the Earth lately, a tiny spark can ignite an entire planet. With the impact from the ignition, Earth can be blown away to a safe distance. Li Kui immediately shares his plan with a genius, Lily, and surprisingly the latter likes it. Soon they hack Sylva's engine and concentrate its power to fire a plasma beam tall enough to ignite Jupiter. The group overcomes various challenges and are able to reconfigure the engine to carry out the plan, but they're unable to push the firing pin on the engine to ignite it. Left with no option, the captain, Wang Lei, calls the nearby rescue workers for help, but everybody ignores him. Just then, Li Kui's sister Han Duodu realizes that she can make an emergency call to the space station and ask for her father's help. She contacts Pequan and briefs him about the plan, but Moss reveals that some Israeli scientists have already had this idea, and the chance of success is 0. Nevertheless, Pequan still calls the UEG and pleads for authorization. The UEG refuses to send backup, but lets Duo broadcast her message to remaining rescuers. With this opportunity, the little girl delivers an emotional speech which warms the hearts of people across the world. And in no time, several rescuers arrive at the scene and start helping the group to push the giant pin. In the next scene, Li Kui finally gets the machine unstuck. Now everything is ready except the launch program. The main technician, Li, is badly injured by falling rocks, but somehow manages to put the right cable in the socket. At least the program finally gets uploaded. The Torque engine shoots a straight red light towards the giant eye of Jupiter, but the power cannot reach the ignition area. It is short by a mere 5,000 kilometers square. Pequan, who has also witnessed all of this, suddenly remembers that his space station has 300 tons of fuel, which should generate a 5,000 kilometer flame if ignited. He explains about the plan to Maz, but AI declines and instead locks the system. Enraged, Pequan burns the main computer and takes charge of the space station. He then steers it towards Jupiter at a high speed and collides in no time. Jupiter's atmosphere starts burning and Earth is pushed away by the impact, but sadly, the impact also releases giant impact waves which start ravaging Earth. Amidst the chaos, Li Kui finds his sister with Tim. Just then, the impact wave hits and sends everyone flying. Tim holds onto a pipe, but Li sees his sister dropping down, so he falls towards her. In the air, he heroically catches her and deploys an instant bubble capsule which saves both of their lives. However, the fall breaks Lu's helmet and he slowly passes out. Before he closes his eyes, he sees that the Earth survived the ordeal. The movie then fast forwards to 3 years into the future, where Li Kui has become a driver and has earned everyone's respect. Moreover, the engines have resumed working, and humanity is heading into a right direction to restore its past glory. The end.